Bob has been growing things from a young age. I will say 80 to 85 years of experience in growing things from seeds or planting stuff. We keep on trying to look for new things. Could it be a new seed? Could it be a new hybrid of a seed that we have been growing? Example will be, we grow tomatoes every year. So if it has to be tomato, it has to be tomato which is new that we have not grown before. We have seen it somewhere, we have eaten it before, and same goes for vegetables, same goes for flowers and things of that nature. It could be that we have not grown, we have eaten it somewhere, we have seen it somewhere, or whatever it might be, or we found something which sounded interesting compared to what we grow. And we had to spend like good 15 minutes to narrow it down to 5. Hello, universes. We would like to go back and let's be friends together. Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of our channel, My Friend Bob. We have Bob Amberg with us today.
Hello again, all.
What we want to discuss, and there aren't too many gardeners who, or the ones which I see online, discuss some subjects. And the subject we are about to discuss is seeds with a caveat. Bob has been growing things from a young age. 40, I'm just trying to say because we do not want to reveal his age, but more than 40 years. I have done for a few decades also, because I surely don't want to reveal my age. Between us, we will have, if not 100, I will say 80 to 85 years of experience in growing things from seeds or planting stuff. All that said, the journey of a gardener is never over. We keep on trying to look for new things. Could it be a new seed? Could it be a new hybrid of a seed that we have been growing? It could be anything. We decided, Bob and I, that let's do a video today and let's do a discussion where something new we are growing this year. So we decided that we'll pick 5 seeds that we're growing for the very first time. Our rules are simple: something new. New does not mean that we have not grown that variety, that particular type of seed before. Thank you, Bob. Example will be, we grow tomatoes every year. So if it has to be tomato, it has to be tomato which is new that we have not grown before. We have seen it somewhere, we have eaten it before, but we ourselves have not grown. And same goes for vegetables, same goes for flowers and things of that nature. It could be that we have not grown, we have eaten it somewhere, we have seen it somewhere, or whatever it might be, or we found something which sounded interesting compared to what we grow. Bob came here with more than 5. And we had to spend like good 15 minutes to narrow it down to 5. Bob, because of his knowledge, his experience, has gotten a leeway that he'll talk about 6. I'm only talking about 5 because that's all I picked. Bob, what do we have?
Oh, to start off, I'd like to, say something about what you're saying about new. It's not always new out in the industry, but maybe it's new to us. The first one I've got is kale. It's called Thunderhead. And the thing with this is the size of it. I don't know if you can see on the seed packet. This plant can get up 5 feet tall and it'll have leaves that are 3 feet tall. This was actually first mentioned in a French seed catalog in the 1800s. So again, it's definitely not a new plant, but it'll be something new for me and hopefully new for you too. The flavor is good on it. It's treated like a regular kale. The other thing with this, I think it would be pretty impressive in the garden. And a lot of the times you don't always look just for the food value. I look for an ornamental value. And I think this would just look pretty cool in the garden.
So Bob, this is something you saw in a catalog and you bought it, or you have ever tasted it?
I've tasted kale, but I've never tasted this kale.
This particular,
yeah.
And looking at the size of it, looks huge.
It does. It's something, he's holding the leaves way out in front of him like fishermen do to make their fish.
Or put it towards your back and you might look like an angel.
Yeah.
With your wings.
Yes. So that's a good one to start. Again, it just defines what is new to us.
So in my case, the first thing I'm picking is what's called a Mexican sour gherkin. This is something very interesting. And the story behind this, before I even go anywhere, in my younger years, my grandfather, I mentioned in my other videos, was a farmer, and during spring, when in the region where he was, they'll grow their melons, the sweet melons, during spring, and around the same time they'll seed some of these. So I've had it like a couple of times in my life at a very, very young age. It's had stuck in my head. I saw this seed in the catalog, and I'm like, I need to have it. But then I started questioning my own memory. That is that the same seed or is this same plant or not? I called up a cousin of mine who used to live close to where my grandfather was, and I showed her the picture, and she said that's the same seed. What's interesting about it? It's called a gherkin. Gherkin is a vegetable in itself, but typically when we use the term gherkin, we think of pickling cucumbers. So if I read about it, it's a Mexican sour gherkin. This is a vigorous vining plant with fruit about the size of grapes that tastes like cucumber with a tinge of sourness. The way I remember it, when you put it in your mouth, it just pops. The sour flavor hits. It's not sour like a grapefruit sour, but you will have a bit of that flavor. The crunch of this is beautiful. If you pickle it, what I have learned or what I've heard or what I've read, because I've not done it myself, to be fair to everybody, it keeps it crunchiness. And the other good thing is it can tolerate both cold and heat. So it'll be very interesting for me to see what I can do with it.
It'd be nice if we could do an early crop and then maybe a late one in the fall.
I was, this one says 3 to 4 weeks before the last frost, or direct sowing also 3 or 4 weeks after the last frost.
Interesting.
So what we can do, we have 15 seeds, so we don't have too many. We can do 7 indoors and then do 8 outdoors and see what the difference will be.
Sure. Late in the season is great.
So yeah, it's something new, but I've known about it. It might bring some childhood memories. Bob, what do you have next?
My next one is an herb rather than a vegetable. It's a basil. There are many different types of basil. There's Italian, there's Thai, there's cinnamon, licorice, holy, purple basils. The list almost goes on forever. This one is called Blue Spice, and it's got nice purple tinged leaves and a lavender flower. And it's a very compact habit, which should make it really nice and give it an ornamental value. The other thing I like that's a little different from the other basils, it has a little vanilla scent to it rather than just a vanilla and clove scent to it, which is a little different from the basils that have been out before. So I'm interested in trying that. And again, I think it would just look real nice in a container and in the garden.
Actually, interesting because I've never seen this basil before. And when Bob brought this in today, since we were talking too much, because we haven't met in a few weeks, we kept on talking. I did not go through and read about it. The vanilla sounds interesting, but the clove might bring something because even with Thai basil, it has a bit of heat to it, if you want to say that word. It's not really heat compared to a sweet basil, which is a bit different.
The spiciness.
Right. And the holy basil is the same way that it has a bit of different flavor.
Yes. Yeah, they're all slightly different and all good in their own way.
Nice. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting. When do we start growing this one?
I'll probably start that in about 2 weeks. I think mid-April, 3 weeks, mid-April, because you really can't put it out until the weather's warm, though you can get it started inside to get a little bit of a head start.
So this will be the same case like any other basil, like it's no different in the growing pattern?
No. Though there's a wide range in the different types of basils. You get a compact basil, you can get some that are very tall. This one should be right in the middle. Again, that compact habit should be nice.
I think it'll be interesting, and the flavor profile is very different. I remember 15, 16 years ago, many things started coming into lemon and chocolate flavor also, mostly mints, and then they started doing the same thing to basils. And some of the flavors did not work out. And I think they were some kind of hybrids which we just developed in the last 15, 20 years. This will be interesting that if it keeps like half of what it's saying in its profile, something nice. Good to have.
Yeah. Exactly.
My next one, a cucumber. What's the big deal about it? So the name of this cucumber is Poona, Kheera. Poona is a city in India, and Kheera really means in Urdu, or translates from Urdu or from Hindi into English as cucumber. So it says Poona, Kheera, cucumber, which anybody who understands the language, you're saying Poona, cucumber, cucumber. Well, if they didn't say that, most people won't realize it's a cucumber. It's a very interesting cucumber. And again, this is something I've had in my youth. In Pakistan, now we get almost the same kind of hybrid cucumbers that we grow here in North America. Good 30 years ago, most of the cucumbers were very different. Different in a way that as they age, they become a bit bitter. So what you will do is chop the top a bit, like just a centimeter, and then rub it on the top where you cut it off. It will start foaming, and then you'll chop it off, and then eventually you'll peel and eat. Why? That foam is really bitter in taste, and most cucumbers were that way. This particular one also falls in the same category. The reason I picked it, one, again, as I said, it reminds me of my youth. The second, it could be eaten at a very young age to the point that it becomes mature. When it becomes mature, again, actually it will become bitter, so you have to do the process that I just mentioned. Also, the interesting point is by the time it gets mature, what you could do is you can stir fry it and put in vegetables. A lot of different things you can do it. You can pickle it, eat raw, eat of the wine. You can stir fry it almost like a vegetable. So it will be a very interesting cucumber to have in the garden.
And that colors when it's mature, right?
Yeah. So the color you're seeing is when it's mature. It starts like really like cucumber greenish.
Okay.
Greenish. It's a bit different green. But by the time it matures, and if you look at it, you can almost see the seeds, which are mature seeds. So we will see that when we start eating it, will we eat with the seeds when it's mature, without? Something we'll learn when we'll be able to grow some. It grows almost the same way as any other cucumber, no difference. It's a vine, so whatever you have to do for any other cucumber.
And see, when it's mature, it will need to be peeled.
Yes.
And when it's young, it can be used as is. And the same with the Mexican sour gherkin. That can be used just as it is. Pop it into salads, pop it into your mouth, whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
Thank you.
What do we have next, Bob?
This is an eggplant. It's called Thai green frog fingers. And it's a tiny little eggplant. They only get about 1 inch to 2 inches long. It's a compact 2-foot plant, which bears very heavy. The fruits can be used without any preparation. They don't have to be peeled. They could just tossed right into the pan, the salad, whatever you're doing. And I think I like it because it seems eggplant to me is also a very ornamental plant on its own. I'm stuck on the ornamental vegetables as well, but the eggplant on regular eggplants is very pretty. This one seems to have a nice flower too. So I'm looking again with that compact growth to see an ornamental value as well as a good edible value to it.
So since Bob mentioned ornamental like for the third time, let me tell you something about Bob, which I've observed and find it, I'll use the word weird, but let's say funny. Bob does not eat okra when he grows okra. Why? He loves the flowers. And I love okra. So I always tell him, you can have the flowers, give me the okra. So in Bob's garden, it's very important because ornamental, like in the case of okra, it also becomes a pollinator, which will help with your other plants. So yes, I think you can eat anything you can grow as a vegetable. Even some peppers, which are called ornamental peppers,
sure,
you can eat them. The flavor is not that great. That's why you don't eat it. It's poisonous. On the other hand, you can just grow things for the flowers and use them as pollinators. So that's always good. Since Bob was talking about eggplant, I also started some the other day. Is this particular orange colored eggplant? It's called a Turkish orange. The funny bit about this eggplant is that it is called Turkish, but it is really from Africa. Why the name Turkish? Probably it's used in their cuisines more, and that's how we know it. But technically speaking, it's an African eggplant. It's smaller in size, almost like a size of actually baseball will be bigger, more like a tennis ball. So not too huge in size. The guts or the inside of it's sweeter than regular eggplants that we eat, especially the Italian kind, and they're a bit more seedy. So it's a bit different. It'll be very interesting to grow this and try it out. I might have had it, and I'm saying might because I do tend to go to other cultures and eat their food at one of the Turkish or some other restaurant. So this will be very interesting.
And what's the size on that?
As I said, it's almost like a tennis ball.
Excellent. Okay, good.
So it's not huge.
Perfect.
And then again, the same thing. Not only it has the orange color, ornamentally beautiful, it has the lines going through it also.
Yes.
Okay. Which make it look like
beautiful,
really beautiful.
Now, do they start out green and then turn to the orange, or is that something we'll have to find out?
I have to find out because I've never grown it, and that will be part of the experiment.
Looking forward.
I do not know how it would be. The back does not say anything. It just talks about it's orange. So I do not know the answer to that. So
we'll soon find out.
What next do you have, Bob?
I have this one I really cheated on because it's not really a new plant for me, but it's something I rediscovered. This is a pepper. It's called Thai red chili pepper. Now, there's a couple different Thai peppers out. This one just has a beautiful habit. It only gets to a foot and a half inch tall. It's covered with these small 1.5 inch, maybe long peppers. They dry well. They could be used well, used fresh as well as drying. They're great dry. You used to put them on pizza and stuff. But I grew this years ago. Somehow the seed got neglected and I lost the seed. But I'm looking forward to being able to use this again. So it's not new. It's more rediscovered. But it's really a worthwhile one for me. And it's, again, something I'm glad to find again.
So one thing about peppers, if you go and watch our videos from last year, where we discussed different peppers actually originated in Latin America or South America. And then they moved to different parts of the world. It's called a Thai pepper because Thai food made it famous. But really, it started in China, where it started getting its popularity. I think as of what I read last year, Thai pepper is from the family, or not a family, is what's called a bird eye. A bird eye pepper is something which looks up compared to most peppers look down. And peppers look down because of the weight of them. So just remember that. So it's from the bird eye family. And in the Thai family, there are almost 79 different kinds. So a huge variety. So when Bob said that he found it and then he lost it, it even could be that the newer hybrids, it might not give as much fruit that the newer hybrids are newer versions of the same vegetable, or in this case, a pepper give. But having and going back to something that you have known is always interesting. So yes, in this case, it's not a new find, but something lost and you find it, it is a new find. Once you go through it, you'll know that.
Yep. And just one more thing to note on this. Like many of the peppers, it's not a hybrid. So you can save the seed from this. And I had the seed I must have used for 10 years, 15 years before it was neglected. So you can save the seed and do it. And many of the peppers are like that. You can get hybrids, but a lot of the peppers could be treated as heirlooms and used save the seed and use it year after year.
Excellent. Now, since Bob talked about pepper, I'll talk about a pepper also. Santa Fe Grande. History of this pepper, again, this pepper was developed in New Mexico in the United States. It's a very interesting pepper. The way it grows, the color, it starts light yellow, goes, and by the time it matures into oranges or fiery red. The size of it, there are some which are like 2 inches, and there are some which go to 5 inches. I think the ones I bought, they will be like 3 inches. It's not too spicy. The heat level of this is less than a jalapeno. So I think it's like 500 or 700 Scoville units, which is almost like, for me, it's a bell pepper. The ones which are which get bigger, you can use that as a fryer. Throw it on the grill with your barbecue, perfect. With the smaller ones, you can almost pickle them. I have had a pickle before. By the time it's pickled, if it's especially if it's a cold bath, it pops really nice in your mouth when you eat it. It grows almost like any other chili pepper. Growing process is no different. Start indoors 8 to 10 weeks before frost. Likes heat and 10 to 21 days to germinate. So generally speaking, like any other pepper, it's just the profile, the spiciness of it, the heat of it, which is different than other pepper. It has a bit of sweetness, and it's quite interesting.
You mentioned that it was developed at the school, I think it was University of New Mexico, and a lot of those southwestern universities and school have done a ton of research and developed a lot of different varieties in the chilies, jalapenos, different peppers like that. That's one thing those ag schools have been really good at. The disease prevention, production, all things that they've factored into developing these new peppers like Santa Fe.
And since Bob mentioned that, as much as people who don't live in the United States think of chili peppers in the United States and think of Texas, not really. It's New Mexico, where most of our dried peppers, they come from. They have different varieties and they're beautiful. If you Google it or go to YouTube and find a documentary about their peppers, and if you're into gardening, you'll be stuck in it. Okay, my last one, and I see Bob still has quite a few more.
I have one.
No, actually, it's you now.
Just the one. Pretty much.
No, it's you. I did my pepper, so it's
I'm going to go. My next one, I don't really have a picture of. My tomato for this year is going to be, it's called WonderStar Red. You don't need a picture. It's a beefsteak type tomato. You know what a beefsteak tomato looks like. It's a determinant, so the growth on it's very compact. Again, I'm looking for something I can grow in a container still for this. It's supposed to have very good flavor, good disease resistance, and very, very productive. So that's the tomato I'm going to try this year.
Now, interesting, Bob. With beefsteak, it's an indeterminate tomato, right?
Not always. The standard beefsteak, what is called the variety beefsteak, is indeterminate.
Because my thought was, and actually I might be learning something new right now. This is why if you have friends and they have the same interest in talking to them, you learn something new. That's always excellent. I somehow thought that tomatoes which are bigger mostly will be indeterminate. So that rule is wrong.
I think that is true. I think that is true, but they're coming out again with more of the interest in container garden and with people using smaller gardens. They're trying to develop some that'll be a little bit smaller stature. The problem with a lot of the determinants, though, their season isn't going to be as long. So that's something they're looking for. They may not produce as long as an indeterminate tomato.
I got you.
But yeah, as a rule, usually your beefsteak, it's going to have a larger plant to support that larger tomato.
So, like as we're discussing these things and you learning determinate, indeterminate, we have discussed about these before. What COVID did, and surely horrible things happened. Many people died. Many people got long COVIDs. Horrible things happened. But one good thing which happened was many people started growing their own gardens, which was not that common before. Surely it was, but not everywhere. There was a whole generation, if you ask me, which is actually the generation I'm from, they forgot about having a backyard garden. The generation before us, they used to do it. And the new one after us, they start getting into it also. What has changed also? We have more people in this world. The houses have become smaller, which also means the backyards, the front yards have become smaller. So you don't have that much space. So I will encourage anybody who has a balcony, a small garden, or anything, do some container gardening. This year, Bob is already doing an experiment, and you'll see in our videos all this summer that we will be big on container gardening, just to encourage people that you can grow some vegetables, some herbs, or whatever you want in a few containers. It's not expensive. It's very fulfilling. And when you have that same vegetable or same herb or whatever that might be on your dinner table, the dinner tastes better.
Thank you.
Now, tomatoes. This is my last one. Yellow stuffer. I'm not seen this before. I'm not grown this before. the reason I'm growing this stuffer tomatoes are a bit different than like in tomatoes. You have like different kinds, if that's the right word. We are doing a whole series on every Monday. Bob talks about different kind of tomatoes in our series of 1 Minute with Bob. Go watch it. So a stuffer is a tomato which is almost hollow inside. Surely it will have seeds, but the seeds are not as what you see in a tomato. So beefsteak, it's very seedy, it's very juicy. You eat differently. A Roma kind of tomato, it's a bit different. The skin is different, so it's surely you can eat it raw, more for sauces. A stuffer typically, as the name says, you can stuff in it. You can put cooked rice in it. You can put even meats on it. Meats in it, grill it or bake it, and you can have it as a salad, or you can have it as a main meal. That's the best thing. The reason I decided to go for it, one was for the yellow color. It looks beautiful compared to a red tomato. The other is 4 or 5 years ago, Bob was growing some stuffers, and he gave me some of his tomatoes. They were red in color, but the concept remains the same. Now, if you look at it, one thing you'll see, it almost looks like a yellow bell pepper. And actually, it looks like that. And when you cut it inside, it looks very much like that. And the seeds are all almost the same way how they're on a bell pepper. So as I was mentioning, Bob gave me some of those stuffers, red ones, and I did what I did. I stuffed them and cooked them. And it was just like tomato became something very different for me. If you have not grown a tomato which is stuffer, try it. If you don't have space and you go to a farmer's market or somewhere, you can find it. Do buy a few and try stuffing with even with cheese, and just bake it for long enough that it starts melting. By the way, I forgot, when you put cheese, put some fresh herbs also. You will love it. Okay, I have my 5 seeds. I see some kind of a...
I have one more. It's I'm going to do this is a seed potato. I urge you all, we did a video on seed potatoes last year. Yeah, it's been a year already, and which was very interesting, and I hope you all get a chance to check that out. New one for this year is Huckleberry Gold. It has a beautiful purple skin. You can't tell that it's not watched as much here, and a creamy yellow center to it. The flavor is supposed to be very good on it, and it's supposed to have a good yield. It is rich. Anytime you see purple vegetables like this, they usually tend to be rich in antioxidants, which tend to have some cancer-fighting benefit to it. The interesting thing with the Huckleberry Gold is it's one of the first varieties to have a low glycemic index, which means that it doesn't give the rapid spike in blood sugar that your regular potatoes do when you eat starchy food like that, like potatoes. This gives it a big plus for those who have to watch their carbs or maybe have diabetes concerns. So it's a little plus to it. And again, it just looks good.
Bob, the one we grew last year, which was the same color.
We had Adirondack Blue. So yeah, we had Adirondack Blue, but that had more of a blue flesh to it.
Oh, so that's the main difference.
If you check that video out, you can see that blue flesh to it.
I remember now.
And we did the red that had a dark red skin. But the Adirondack Blue was a nice one.
So these were our 5 seeds each, but I do see Bob has a 6th one because he's cheating. But since he has so much knowledge, we'll let him talk about his last one. I think these are some kind of flowers.
Yes, let's sneak one flower in there, something to feed the soul rather than to feed the belly. And since I snuck that Thai red chili in there, I figure I better make up with something. Though again, this is something I've grown before, but not this variety. This is Mexican sunflower. The true name is Tithonia. It's not a true sunflower. It's a wildflower down in Mexico, grows in fields and in roadsides. You'll see it growing down there. Loves the heat, can take the dry weather once it's established. This one's called Arcadian Blend, and I like it. The traditional one is orange. Very pretty. Again, great for pollinators and bees. There's a red one out. This one has more yellows, golds, apricots, and it looks like bicolor. So Again, just a little something to feed the soul rather than the belly.
How tall these get?
These stay a little shorter. The regular Tithonia Mexican flower gets 3.5 to 4 feet. These only get 2 to 2.5 feet. I think we'll find out.
Here we go. So, thank you for watching. Surely we have other things also that we're doing for the first time, but this is more than enough to discuss this year. Next year, whatever we will do, we'll talk about it. This video is on the longer side because we both got excited and we kept on talking, but that's the fun of gardening. Bob, any parting words?
Well, maybe we could do a video late in the season to see how we did with these. We'll do a little report card on it.
Surely we should.
So thank you all for watching, and any questions, please get in touch.
Thank you again. Thank you for watching. My friend Bob, like, share, comment. Keep on asking questions as Bob mentions. It keeps the community going, and when we answer your question, it might help the third person who might have the same kind of a question in their own heads. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.